Listen, this is, I think, frustrating for the Washington football team, disappointing as well. Dwayne Haskins earlier in the year was fined almost $5,000 for trying to sneak guests into a hotel room at that point in time. Now we've got an incident where after a loss, where they're competing for the division title, he goes out to a strip club. Images show up, as John Keim of ESPN Nation has reported, and basically show him not wearing a mask. Now, the error in judgment is multifaceted. Obviously, we've got a player going out after a loss. That was a big loss during a pandemic, not wearing a mask. We could pick up anything you want. Now, Dwayne Haskins took to social media to issue an apology to say that he would learn from this particular mistake. And I think Washington is hoping that he will. You have to wonder, though, at this point in time, if his future is going to be in Washington. Obviously, he lost his starting job to Kyle Allen and to Alex Smith, and now they're obviously waiting to see when Alex Smith can get back from that calf injury, but there continue to be miscues here in terms of judgment choices that Dwayne Haskins continues to make.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Washington is heavily in the playoff race and conversation in the NFC East. What is the situation at the quarterback position this weekend for Washington?
The sense out of the organization right now, Laura, is that they think that there's a real chance that Alex Smith is going to be back on the field, recovered from that calf strain, in time to start a very important game for Washington this weekend as it goes up against Carolina. Again, there's a team that needs to win that game, needs to try to put away the division. It could win the division this weekend, the Washington football team can, which would be a monumental achievement in a season filled with obstacles and adversity for this team as much as any in the National Football League. So they believe and are hopeful that Alex Smith can and hopefully will be back on Sunday to start against Carolina.
All right, Adam with us all show long. That news, not the only news out of the Washington football team. They have reached a settlement with a former team employee who accused owner Dan Snyder of sexual misconduct in 2009, according to multiple reports. The Washington Post reports the settlement is for $1.6 million and that Snyder and the team have denied any wrongdoing. The New York Times is reporting that Snyder paid the settlement to avoid negative publicity. And both the Post and the Times report that the woman was fired after making the allegations. A team spokeswoman declined to comment on reports when contacted by ESPN. Here's a look at the long list of lengthy reports regarding Daniel Snyder this summer. On July 16th, the Washington Post reported 15 women accused former Washington employees of sexual harassment, although Snyder was not included. Then the next day, Snyder released a letter saying that he did not have the knowledge of the allegations before the report, but that he takes full responsibility for the culture of the organization. A month later, another report surfaced that a former team executive instructed employees to create a behind-the-scenes video for Snyder, which featured clips of partially nude team cheerleaders from a 2008 photo shoot. And this leads us to today, where the Washington football team reportedly settled a sexual misconduct allegation for $1.6 million regarding Snyder and a former employee in 2009. Mina, what's your reaction when you see and hear the scope of the alleged transgressions by Snyder?
My reaction is pretty simple. I don't know why this person owns an NFL team. You spelled it out there, Laura, but I think just in case people at home are confused, this new allegation, this story of sexual misconduct involving Snyder that is separate from the Washington Post story this summer in which 15 women came forward and said they were sexually harassed by other people inside the organization. Then after that story, dozens more women came forward. And look, most of that didn't directly involve Snyder, but it fell under his oversight owning the team. And I think it's worth stressing that and talking about it because we're going to discuss what Dwayne Haskins did, and he absolutely deserves to be criticized, and it was dumb. And he is probably going to face consequences for it, in large part because his grasp on a job in the NFL is so tenuous. But Daniel Snyder, a person with real power, probably won't face real consequences for his disastrous stewardship of this team. Disastrous. And it's a shame because they're having a great season. They have new people involved in the organization. The players, the fans, they all deserve better than Dan Snyder.
Yeah, to your point, Mina, the Snyder allegations are severe, life-altering to those he harassed. But much less severe, the questionable decisions of Dwayne Haskins going to a gentleman's club Sunday night where he was seen without a mask. Marcus, when you saw this news, what was your reaction?
Furious. Listen, this was one of those situations where you like you go around and you have these conversations with young players, even in college when they coming out, about the responsibilities and the things you are going to take on. And listen, Dwayne Haskins has to understand that he has responsibility to the people that helped him get to this point as well. Like, this is dumb, it's stupid. I talked about this with Zeke Elliott and Dak back when they had the party before the season started. It's the same scenario. The NFL has protocols that's been in place for as long as we can acknowledge having a season for things like this not to transpire, for immaturity to be the reason and apologize. Like, I'll tell y'all the God honest truth. Like, I did things growing up when I was younger that I apologize for, but you know what happened? My mama still tapped that behind. She still got hers at the end of the day. And that's what Dwayne Haskins has to learn. Look, fining and doing all of these things are direct protocol. But the frustrating part about this is Dwayne Haskins has this golden opportunity, and you choose to do this, and all the dudes that want this opportunity don't have it, and you choose to do this in this year. It's more, but I'll let it go ahead. Go ahead, Dan.
I want to touch on Haskins real quick, and I'm going to put it simply like this. If you can't lead yourself, you can't lead others. Point blank. You can't play quarterback in the NFL. To the situation with Ron Rivera and Jason Wright, you know, with everything that they have kind of been thrust into, the fact that they sit here today 6-8 with the chance on the back end of a playoff berth speaks to their incredible leadership this year.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.